First introduced you to a group of so-called mall rats 30 years ago. The teens were homeless and they spent most of their day at the mall in Carlsbad. One of those teens recently contacted us and said he's been able to turn his life around.
News 8's Alicia Summers has more on his inspirational story in this Your Stories report.
We are throwing it way back to the 80s when a group of kids called the Mall Rats used to survive out here at the mall in Carlsbad and then in the woods nearby. Recently, I caught up with one of the teens who has since turned his life around. Back in 1989, News 8 interviewed a pack of homeless kids dubbed the Mall Rats.
We share whatever we get.
They used to live at the Carlsbad Mall by day. By night, you would find the Mall Rats burrowed in a secret hideaway and makeshift shelters behind the Eternal Hills Cemetery in Carlsbad.
We have about 10 blankets.
This is what their old stomping ground looks like today. 30 years later, the mall is now called The Shops at Carlsbad. And their secret hideaway behind the cemetery where they used to sleep has since been cleared out and overgrown with brush.
A lot has happened in 30 years, let me tell you.
Rob Gordon was one of the Mall Rats. He was 17 then. He's 47 now and lives in Las Vegas. We caught up with him over Skype. He explained to us what happened back then.
I did LSD, then finally got into meth, and that was the destroyer. Meth is just, I'm dead set against meth. I wish it would go away because it destroys everything in your life.
There were about 30 Mall Rats. The youngest was just 14. Most of them were runaways like Rob, who didn't get along with his father.
Yeah, I thought this was all I had. You know, this is what I had. Okay, I'm gonna be a rock star anyway. You know, this is how it's done, right? You know, I had no clue.
After the initial story aired, the Mall Rats hideout was bulldozed and Rob was forced to get off the streets where he lived for 2 years. Here he is on KVSD talking about their problems.
What did you feel like when these people came and with tractors and police and forced you to give up the only home that you had?
Well, I didn't have much real feeling because it's happened before.
Years later, he tried to commit suicide. That was his turning point.
I decided to change my entire lifestyle. I got hooked up with some very good programs out here to help me rehabilitate myself. They put me through drug rehab, alcohol rehab.
He earned his GED and graduated college. He now has a good job in Vegas working as a lighting tech for some big shows like Aerosmith and most recently the Billboard Latin Music Awards. He even keeps in touch with some of the other Mall Rats.
Jason, I talk to on a regular basis. He's doing great. He's married. He's got kids, you know. I mean, he's living the American dream. Little Chief, he's doing the same thing.
Rob is still a musician and is in the process of writing an album. It helps him stay sober.
Oh, what better place to put it than in my lyrics and in music, you know? That's kind of how I cope now.
Unfortunately, not all of the Mall Rats made it. Rob tells me some of them could not get off drugs and died because of their addictions. Rob also tells me that if he were to do it all over again, he never would have gotten on drugs because that's what ripped him apart from his friends and family and put him in a dark place.